Okay, so we're up to the third of the videos on equations of straight lines, and I'd love to remind you about what we've done so far. So we've got all straight lines are of the form y equals mx plus b. M, the number in front of the x, the coefficient of x is called the gradient, the value of the gradient, and the number at the back, the independent term, the number which has no x's, is the y-intercept. So that's the first thing you have to know. Second thing I'd love you to know is that, again, depending on what you're looking at, I always look at a right. Going up to the right is a positive gradient, and going up to the left is a negative gradient. So whichever way you do it, I know some of the girls are saying left to right, right to left, but I'm saying up to the right or up to the left, positive and negative. So you have to know that. Okay, shouldn't need to copy this down. Okay, other reminders still. Okay, where the line crosses the y-axis, so the y-axis is there. So where the line crosses, this is going to be a number. It's going to be a number, maybe it's going to be 3 or whatever. So the y-intercept is 3. Okay, so wherever it crosses the y-axis, it's called the y-intercept. And of course, obviously down here, it's called the x-intercept. But at the moment, we're not using that for anything at the moment. Okay? And the last thing that I'd like to remind you about is you can calculate a gradient. You need to have a rise and a run. So the rise goes up. So you look for the intercepts on the y-axis and the x-axis, and that makes you a triangle. And so the triangle is the rise going up to 0, and the run is going across to the x-intercept. And once you have the rise and the run, it's a fraction, could be a fraction, and then you just put a plus or minus sign depending on which way it's going, and that's the value of m. Okay, so here's an example that we've done so far. So given m and given b, if m is 5 and b is minus 2, then that's pretty straightforward. You just put the 5 in front of the x and the b, the minus number, at the back. So that's 5x minus 2. So in this next one, the diagram's drawn for you. Okay, so the gradient is going to the right. So the line's going to the right. So we put a plus sign in front of it. And the rise is 3. And the run is 2, so you put the rise over the run, and that gives you 3 on 2. The y-intercept, again, just make sure you understand, there's the y-intercept just there, so that's the b value. So the answer is 3 over 2x plus 5, and some textbooks might write it like that, but it's the same answer. Okay, so I think that's what we've done so far. So looking at equations of straight lines 3. Okay, so again, we did actually do this in class, but we'll put a note to end it. So this is given gradient and a point. Okay, so find the equation of a line with a gradient of 2. Okay, so the gradient is 2, and there's a point 1, 5. Okay, so 1 is the x and 5 is the y. So we know, for instance, that the straight line is made up of lots of xy points, xy coordinates, and so we've got a particular one, and we can substitute in and find the value of b. Now I know you can, if you want to have a little formula, if you want to get a formula, b is always equal to y minus mx. I know some of the girls in the class worked that out. If you have y minus mx, you'll get the b value, but I'll show it this way. So the 5 goes out the front, m comes from the question, change colours, x goes there, and plus b. We're trying to find b, so we don't know what to do with it, so we'll just leave it as b. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2, and then take the 2 across the other side, becomes a minus 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, and so the answer is 2x. Okay, the 2 came from the question, so we could have written that down straight away. We knew that straight away, y equals 2x. We just didn't know what to do with the b value, and then the b value just goes at the back. Now, just because some girls like to learn in different ways, there is a formula that you can use that you could learn off by heart, and what it is this y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1, and so this y here and this x here is what you leave as part of the formula. Okay, so in the previous question, x and y are part of the formula, and so that first part in this formula is what you leave behind, and the x1, y1 is the point that you're given in the question. Okay, so we have m equals 2, and the point was 1, 5, and so the 5 is the y1, and the 1 is the x1. So we've got y minus 5, so the 5 goes in the y position, equals m. So that's 2, x minus x1, x minus 1. You expand the brackets, so expand the brackets. Okay, so the brackets are expanded, and then minus 5 comes across and becomes plus 5, and then minus 2 plus 5 is positive 3, and it's the same answer that we got previously, so it had to be. So I don't mind which way you do it. There's method 1 is just use y equals mx plus b all the time, and method 2 is there is a formula, y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. So it just depends on which way you want to go. So I want you to copy that down, and when you're ready, come across the next slide. Just copy copy both methods, and then you can decide which one you're going to go, which way you're going to go. Okay, so we're going to try this yourself. I don't mind which method, I'll do both, but when you're ready, have a go, pause, and come back live when you're ready. Okay, so method 1 is the y equals mx plus b. Okay, so minus 2 is y, m is 3, x is 5, b is b. So minus 2 equals 15 plus b. 15 goes away. So b equals minus 2 minus 15, because plus 15 becomes minus 15. So you get minus 17. So the answer is y equals mx plus b. Okay, let's have a look at method 2, just for those girls who like their formulas. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Y minus a minus, we'll worry about that later. Okay, it's a minus, so we're minusing a minus, equals 3 bracket x minus 5. That's easy enough. Now, two minuses headbutting each other means you've got a plus sign. So we've got y plus 2 equals 3x. Okay, just multiplying out. Minus 15 plus 2 becomes minus 2. So we've got 3x minus 15 minus 2, which you can do in your head. And it has to be the same answer because it's the same question. Okay, so hopefully there'll be book practice in this one. So in the textbook you'll find some exercises on this. Okay, let's move on along. And okay, so this is the last one in terms of different types of questions. So this time you're not given anything. You're not given a gradient, you're not given a y-intercept, but you're given 2 points. Okay, so again, I'm going to show you 2 ways. Method 1 is the way that most kids like to do it. So method 1 is you just draw a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be accurate. We're just going to put the points into their right sort of quadrants. Okay, so 1 minus 1, so x is a positive and y is a negative, so we're down here. And for the second point, x is a negative and y is a positive, so we're up there. So I'm just doing a really rough sketch. Okay, so draw a rough sketch, done. Calculate the gradients. I'm going to do that now. So we need to draw a triangle. So straight down, straight across. Okay, so our line is going up to the left, so I know that the gradient is a negative number. Okay, so I know the gradient's negative, but let's work out what the rise is. Okay, so again, we'll do it in steps. We've got to go from here to here for the rise. Okay, so from minus 1 to 0 is 1. From 0 to 5 is 5. That's a 5. And so our total is 6. For the run, which is across the bottom, I'm going from minus 3 to 0, so that's a 3. I'm going from 0 to 1. 0 to 1 is a 1. So I'm going a total of 4. Okay, so the gradient is a negative because it's going to the left. It's the rise over the run, and just to make it a little bit smaller, just turn it into a smaller fraction, minus 3 over 2 by division by 2. Okay, so I'm using the y equals mx, change colours, y equals mx plus b approach, which we've been doing. Now this time, it doesn't matter which point I'm going to sub in, you'll get the same answer. Ones look a bit smaller, so I'll use the ones. So minus 1 equals minus 3 over 2. That's what the m value is. That goes there. X is equal to 1 from the, okay, I'm using this point here, plus b. Now on your calculator or using your head, minus 3 on 2 times 1 is minus 3 on 2. And the minus 3 on 2 is going to become an add 3 on 2. So b equals minus 1 plus 3 on 2. And on your calculator or using your common sense, the answer is a half. And so the final answer is y equals m. M is minus 3 over 2x plus b plus a half. Okay. So I got fractions, have to live with them. Okay. So that's method 1. Copy it down, and when you're ready, come across to the next slide, and I'll show you method 2. Okay, so method 2 is a big formula, but again, it's not super hard. Y minus y1, x minus x1. Okay, so this y and this x are what you leave behind for the formula, and x1, y1 is 1 point, okay? x1, y1 is 1 point, and x2, y2 is the other point. So you just plug the numbers in. So we'll make this one, we'll make that x1, y1. It doesn't matter, you can switch the order, it doesn't matter, you get the same answer. So I get y minus a minus 1 over x minus 1 equals y2. That's 5. Minus a minus again over x2, minus 3, minus 1. So I've got lots of minuses, but let's just be patient. Okay, so 2 minuses make a plus, 2 minuses make a plus. So the next line is y plus 1 over x minus 1 equals 6 over minus 4. Okay, 5 plus 1 is 6. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. And I'm going to turn that into a smaller fraction. So I'm going to bring the minus sign up to the top, and 6 over 4 is 3 over 2. That's okay. And then this is a little bit harder. That division goes across and becomes a multiply. Like division becomes multiply when you switch sides. So y plus 1 equals minus 3 on 2 bracket x minus 1. Then we expand the brackets out. Minus 3 on 2 times x is minus 3 on 2x. A minus times a minus is a plus. 3 on 2 times 1 is 3 on 2. That's okay. And then that 1 becomes a minus 1. So you get minus 3 on 2x. 3 on 2 minus 1 is plus a half, which is the exact same answer that we had on the previous page. Okay, so let's see what's on the next slide. Copy that down when you're ready to come across. So try for yourself, pause when you're ready, come back live. Okay. All right, do a rough sketch. So 5 is there, minus 2 is there, so I'm down here. And this time 1 is there, and 4 is up there, so I'm up there. So that point and that point is the line, so it's going to the left, so that means that the gradient is a negative number again. Okay, and I know that the b value is going to be bigger than 4 because it's above the 4 point. Okay, so let's draw our triangle in and then across. Now the run from 1 to 5, the run is 4. That's pretty straightforward. From minus 2 to 4, the rise is 6. Oh, amazing. 6 over 4 again. That's a coincidence, which we cancel down. And change colours. So I've got y equals mx plus b. And I like positive numbers, so we'll use the positive numbers this time. 4 equals minus 3 on 2 times 1 plus b. 4 equals, those two numbers are minus 3 on 2. And then that goes across and becomes a plus. So b equals 4 plus 1.5. So we get 5.5. And so the answer is y equals -3 on 2x plus 5.5. And I was expecting a number bigger than 4, and 5.5 is fine. Okay, so let's just do method 2. Okay, so y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'll make this one the first one, and make this one the second one. So I've got y minus a minus over x minus 5 equals 4 minus a minus over 1 minus 5. Okay, so y plus 2, got two minuses together again, equals 6 over minus 4, which again I'm going to cancel down. Okay, so you got the gradient. That number there is the gradient. Okay, so then cross multiply the x minus 5 off the bottom. Minus a minus is a plus. 5 times 3 is 15 over 2, which is 7.5. That's okay. And then the plus 2 goes the other side. So 7.5 minus 2 is 5.5. So you get the same answer. Okay, and there'll be some exercises to do. I think that's our last slide. Yep, so copy that down, and there'll be some book work to do from the chapter on coordinate geometry. Thanks.